everybody, welcome to Vertigo's Twitch channel once again for their second ESEA match of the week here in Open. They will be taking on today NiL International. For the purposes of the broadcast, I suppose we'll just call them NiL. And NiL themselves, I'm not sure is their record, I haven't really had all that much time to look, but so far everything has been pretty smooth sailing for Vertigo in the competition. They've managed to get themselves pretty convincing victories. It's been 16-1, 16-4, 16-0. So they're going to be looking to try and do the same thing here, and they've already started things off very nicely in the CT pistol. They won the knife round, and Plan has been able to convert it into a 4K in the pistol round, leaving Vertigo Gaming 1-0 up. Awaiting the response from next in line. Looks like next in line are going to do what I would like to do in this situation, what me as an in-game leader would say to my team, which is, hey, let's not stress it too hard here. It's going to be a bit of an eco round. We didn't get a bomb plant in the first round. We'll go for something in the second here with just the Glocks, but it probably won't work out. We will, however, have a buy in the third, and that will give us better weaponry than what the CTs will be able to muster at that point in time. So what's the play here? Are we going back into spawn to play some tic-tac-toe? I guess the idea is not trying to give away any money to these MP9s now that they know there are so many of them in play. As it is, though, Plan is the first and only player so far to find himself a frag. And now a very quick attack up through Banana for two players. The other two players are going to be coming up through middle. Puffin will soon be very aware of this as he turns the corner and drops the bomb right at his feet. That's a nice little $600 per player for that extra kill. Looking to try and get Zenk as well, and will do so. Plan finishes the round off with a frag onto Gwiv, leaving it 2-0. Next in line now should have themselves next in line to the ascendancy of a buy, leaving Vertigo Gaming to try and muster something together here. Obviously, they're still going to be sticking around with the MP9s. There's no reason really to invest in anything else, especially with the fact that it would be difficult at the moment to invest in anything else with the economic situation they're in. They will be able to afford a buy next round, I believe. Even if they do lose this, it will be a little bit tough in places, but they should be fine. And of course, the MP9s can still do big damage. But now, though, it's just keeping them at an arm's length. Down towards the bottom of Banana. That's a very aggressive play that's come in so far. You can see that Azanji is just going to be holding down there. He's just waiting. MP9 on the corner is always going to be good for when someone walks up. There's absolutely no necessity at the moment to try and take more map control than they really need to. Now he has a bit of an inkling that he can, and he's going to go for a few shots. He backs away, tucks himself in. He's been spotted by one player on the crossback, but Grey Wolf's already down, so that's a 5 versus 4. An advantageous position here for Vertigo. They've got everything that they could possibly want. Still got utility to hold on to. Still got pinching players. Puffin is looking for more frags in the middle of the map. That's another one taken down. Gwiv has been tagged up too. A second player will fall in that exchange with TMS taking out Gibbler. It's 1 for 1, but then goes 2 for 1 as TMS does one better, leaving Gwiv in the apartments alone. And the MP9s have done it. They've converted rather nicely, and they're all going to quite comfortably upgrade to AKs, albeit everyone except Schmidt. So a nice start for Vertigo. They'll be able to now just probably hold things down against this buy. Whatever it's going to be, I'm not sure that next in line are going to invest too heavily here. Upgraded pistols seems to be the order of business, with a couple of utility pieces just dropped on top. Mostly decoy grenades, actually, interestingly enough. Next in line seem to have a bit of a thing for that, but if you do, then you do. I'm alright with that. Decoys do have their place, and on eco rounds such as these, it can find a little bit just to give you a tiny, tiny advantage. Anyway, flashbangs are also being utilised here. Nade stack in towards Banana from the CTs, but again, no one there to meet it. There is no reception party. Now, it's going to be over the balcony, where the AK and M4 and pit combination needs to come in big, but so far, it's actually been thwarted completely. 2 AKs dropped inside of pit, 3 players on top of the site. One of them can go back and collect that other AK, which I think is what they're going to do now, if they're aware it's there. It should be. Finally, Gwiv does collect. And this is now actually a winnable round here for Next in Line. The problem that Vertigo have put themselves in right away is the fact that they had double players stacking up in pit, but already plan on the retake, showing absolutely no signs of slowing down this map so far. He started off really strong with a 4K and the pistol, and will execute things by brute forcing his way into the site with the assistance of Schmidt and Azenji, who pick up a kill for both of them, and that is a 4-0 start. Looking very tasty, looking very normal here for Vertigo. Classes, leagues above everybody else in ESEA Open so far this season. They've proven it once, they'll prove it again, and they're continuing to do so. 4-0 start now, finally up against the AWP and AK combination. Next in Line have managed to pull out everything they could possibly want for this one. Vertigo in themselves have also done the same. 2 AKs, of course, still being tidied over from the round before with the AWP in tandem. And Puffin has shown many times this season already in just 3 maps that the AWP of his is something to be feared and contended with. Zenki, or Zenk1, we'll just go with Zenk for now. I don't really know where he stands on the scale of AWPers, if by comparison to your boy Puffin, but it doesn't matter anyway. TMS has opened up the round. Lovely coordination with the flashbangs. Azenji goes one better as well by finding an opening pick onto Grey Wolf at Banana. The only response has just come the way of Gwiv. He's managing to back away with that one. Gets his way with his life. It's the AWP down. He actually doubles down on top of that. Schmidt goes down with him. That smoke goes out onto the edge of the balcony, and the smoke where the Molotov landed to try and give some safe passage for Next in Line to get in here. It's a nice position from TMS, but he's only good for one before he gets taken down by Zenk's P250. Now the 2 players rotate in, Azenji and Plan, look to try and solidify what they can from this round, but the AWP of Zenk already grabbing Plan on the wrap, leaving just Azenji to try and clutch things up here. Looking for him, it looks like Zenk has his number. The AWP comes up trumps, and seemingly is exactly what Vertigo Gaming were needing to put themselves in a bit of a rut for a second. Stump them. Just halt their progress. Next in Line found a solution, but Vertigo, if anything, have proven that whenever they do concede rounds on those rare occasions, that they have an option to to be quite versatile and to switch things up. Seems that the T side here are interested in going towards Banana. They've thrown some early smokes out, but they've received equal damage measured. A boosted little peek there from Puffin, and it hasn't really worked out for him as well as he would have liked. He's now gone. Zenk once again continues with the AWP, and there's some certain signs of promise here from the NiL side when they've got the weapons in their hands, when they've got the rifles, when they've got the AWP. Grey Wolf just going straight into the site. He's actually got away with it here. Now Azenji has to do what he can to try and defend. He's got a teammate through the smoke, but he's going to need his help real big time anytime now. Felix now going to stow himself away in the corner, but Azenji's found his head. It's going to leave him taken out with Gwiv, Zenk, and Gibbler trying to get their way on him, but Azenji's just tapping away. All he needs to see is your head, and he can take them clean off. Schmidt now pincering in. It's just going to be Zenk taken down, and Vertigo Gaming, like I said, whenever they find themselves in a bit of a problem, when they concede those rounds, they're able to adjust and adapt rather quickly, getting themselves up to 5-1 here. And also knocking NiL down a peg. You'd expect to see a buy here, though, from NiL. Not sure what they're waiting out on all that much. So one player's bought an AWP, one player's bought an AK, and then everyone else has not really invested. I'm very confused by this purchase because there was money to go around for a buy. Maybe just not the right economic management coming out here. Not really sure what this is from NiL, but again, Puffin is just getting decked today. He's really not having a good time with these over-aggressive peaks. That leaves an AWP up for retrieval, which Gibbler will quite comfortably pick up. He'll be happy with that. Puffin is really overextending himself at the moment, which is making a rod for their back here for Vertigo. Certainly not making it as easy as they'd have liked to. If Puffin was finding these opening frags rather than conceding them, then this would be an absolute cakewalk for them. But Puffin, he wants his teammates to play the game on a little bit harder of a difficulty today. Already opening things up with the man, ASNG down 2. So Vertigo Gaming looking to try and run in here with Schmidt and TMS in the site. Need to find some big frags. They've done so. Oh my goodness, they've done so. That's a 3k for them. Now the fourth has found their way in, and Schmidt and TMS have single-handedly locked it down. A little moment of divine inspiration and individual brilliance. Schmidt manages to get the AWP too. And NiL now find themselves in another state where they might be questioning what buy they go. See, they had more money last time, and now they're investing. I don't know what this is. This is some wacky, out-of-sorts economic management here. Zenk has money to go for a buy here with an AK. I mean, yeah, sure, you want to have the AWP. It is T-side Inferno. It's absolutely inessential. And the AKs are the ones getting it done. Grey Wolf 2K'ing his way up. The Deagle can't really argue with that kind of performance from it. As it finds one, opens up the round in towards the A side of things. B site is, however, open for business. Bomb rotating in, smoke towards the bottom to cover it off as Zenk will run up quickly. We'll get a Mac 10 for his troubles. Open plant so they can cover it from almost every angle on the site. And with that, the boys on Vertigo will concede this round. They'll back away, they'll play for the save call. They don't want to make anything easy. Looking for the hunt, but how successful will it be? And the answer is pretty unsuccessful. TMS. Oh, never mind. I was going to say he gets away with the AK, but in the end actually works out for him. For the T side, that is. Vertigo, though, finding themselves up against a little bit more resistance than what they've found so far in ESEA Open. 2 rounds conceded is already halfway to the most rounds they've conceded in a map so far this tournament, or this league, sorry. Very comfortable work for Vertigo, but this one seems to be a little bit more tricky. They're finding themselves not quite executing as well as they were. I'm not sure whether that's, you know, next in line playing well or Vertigo playing a little bit poorly. From what I've seen so far, it appears to be the latter of the two. Vertigo are giving up a lot of early advantages that they otherwise wouldn't. The B hold seems to be extremely strong here. It's A where things are starting to fall apart. Puffin's actually said, you know, I've had enough for this AWP business. Just gave it over to ASNG, and just once again, a slow take up through A is actually what wins the round here for next in line. I really don't know about this. Vertigo seem to just be letting things go for free, and that's a little bit concerning, to say the least. There will be another round conceded. Next in line get themselves up to 3. And I just want to see a little bit more resistance. I want to see a little bit more, I don't know, ingenuity, I suppose, from Vertigo over on this A site. It's a very passive hold. It seems that every time anything happens over towards A, they have no information of it coming. They're just holding from the pit position. And it doesn't really seem to net much of a victory for them. Already, though, this is going to be a really nice round for the nades. Not really for anybody else. 2 players burn inside of a Molotov. 2 players die to HE grenades from each side. Even Puffin 1 on 3 with a USP and nothing more. Should be a 4th round for next in line. I don't really think Puffin has too much of a shout in this one, especially if next in line have cycled away some of those AKs and etc. Doesn't matter anyway, because as soon as he's picked it up, he's been taken down. But here it goes. Vertigo now looking to try and crack open this CT half for themselves. So far, it's been a little bit tricky, but they've decided to come to B this time around, and so far, that's where the resistance has been good. Per plan this time, though, doesn't quite go to plan as he falls early. It's still a 2-to-1 trade inside of the site there for Asenji, who grabs 2 and gets away. That's nice enough here from Vertigo. They will still, however, concede the bomb plant, and this should be an easy kill for Zenk towards the bottom of Banana, but he gets flashbanged right as they peek. Very diligent play from Schmidt and TMS, who make it work as Asenji and Puffin now rotate in from the back of the church, leaving Gibbler on just 3 points of health. He should be taken down rather quickly, just a formality for a round. And the retake on B is much better than the defense on A. Rather peculiar, I suppose, that would be the case, but it is what it is. Vertigo get themselves up to 7, closing in on that 8th round, which of course, as we all know, is the way to win the half. You get 8, you've won the half at that point. It is more than 15. Well, more than half of 15. So here it be. Not opened up well here. In fact, it's only actually got worse. Proactive play from Vertigo goes punished again because it's not coordinated over on the A site. And now it's just going to be up to TMS to try and hold things down. He's done a pretty good job so far, though. Grabbing 2, got a teammate rotating in to the library position. Molotov in his way out, so he can potentially try and help here. Gets tagged down a lot, though, Plan. And now that's going to consider rotation out here for next in line. Now they know they've cheated a man over. I think that might also be a quick call for Asenji to run as fast as he can back towards this B site to make sure that they can do something about stopping this hit coming in. Already, nades going in now, covering the cross. Smoke's in from Asenji too, but it's not going to be enough right now. Flashbang through the smoke is just going to be a decoy, waiting for him to actually rotate his way through elsewhere. Bomb plant going in. AWP shot missed over the top by Zenk. He goes for a second peek, though. Won't miss the second time of asking. Now it becomes a 3 versus 2. Plan and Asenji look to try and retake. Asenji flashbangs out early, but now it's just on himself for the 1 versus 3 clutch, and he can't make it happen as Felix will execute. 7-5 now. Next in line, still making this one tricky, not making it easy for Vertigo. And they finally become the most difficult adversary they've faced all ESEA Open season long, because they've taken 5 rounds now from the Vertigo Gaming side. This is where things do start to, get a little bit difficult at this point in the season. You will start coming up against better and better competition as your season progresses. People with a similar scoreline to yourselves. And next in line in that long list of teams they have to face this season, Vertigo. Looking for a win here with the pistols. They've got the first, and TMS will back away with that. Puffin with a smoke towards long as well. We'll try and hide behind that with a 5-7. Waiting for anyone to push through. Smoking towards the arch side. Flashbangs in 2 to try and blind out Puffin. He's going to be stuck in behind it. Gets taken down 2. Grey Wolf will do the same over at the B side of things. But now TMS in from behind. Catches a nade, but it doesn't end up doing all that much damage to him. He's now caught one player out on rotation, but Grey Wolf still perseveres. He still presses on. The problem here for the T side is that the bomb is in possession of the CTs. The question is, are next in line aware I would assume they would be. They've sent a player over towards A and Felix to try and pinch things out. Try and gain information as they wait for the players from Banana to do the same. TMS, however, has picked up an AWP. And he won't miss. He's done most of the heavy lifting in this round already. And he's tagged down Gwiv with another shot through the half wall. Bomb. Still in the CT's control. And Schmidt has picked up an AK too. They have heard some movement as Felix is making his way on in. Schmidt's in behind, but they just trade it quick enough. Felix, if he was out a second earlier, would almost certainly have been dead. But Felix, that time around, gets lucky on the timing, gets lucky on the movement. Next in line, get themselves up to 6 now. And that, in all fairness, is probably the best coordinated round Vertigo have put together on their CT half. Really haven't shown too many signs of having anything that's cohesive, that's together. And I'm a bit concerned by that. Once again, Puffin goes for an aggressive peek early. And he's beaten to the punch. He's forced back already. So passively in towards the library. Where he's almost certainly going to get smoked out if this T side do go towards the A site. Already lots of territory being taken by the Ts and none being reclaimed by the CTs. They're just letting them have it for free. Again, not really too much of a fan of this. Puffin lands a leg onto Zenk. He's forced to back away even further from what his most recent post was. Still damage exchange, no players have fallen. Vertigo will need something to change here shortly. Because whilst they're in the lead, they're not going to be for much longer. If Puffin, again, it feels like the 10th time this game he's been caught out for the first frag of the round. Now TMS has a mountain to climb as he's tucked away. In fact, he's going to have to try and wrap around here. You can see the way that they've suffocated this site next in line. And again, where's the resistance? Where is the outplay? Seems that TMS is the only line of defense here. He's found his 19th frag of the game. Going to quickly underhand flash it out. But is he going to anticipate the player who's up hard to his left? Early spray comes in. Grey Wolf misses it. Plan doubles down on a second. Just Gibbler remains. And where is he? Sorry, it's actually Zenk remaining. He's up top. He's been spotted now. Will be taken down. Should be time for the defuse with a kit. And Vertigo will solidify their victory in the half with an 8th round. But by no means has this half been convincing or pretty from them. They've just scraped by. Especially off the back of winning that pistol round. That's really what's ploughed them through here. Either way, 20th frag on the board here for TMS. And TMS really is the shining light here for the CTs. Now, Puffin finally is going to be activated. He's found one. He's not been able to find two, but TMS is there for the crossfire, and he's found 3 himself. Lovely work from the man on top of the scoreboard, and he will remain there for as long as it stands. It's just Gibbler remaining with a MAC-10, and TMS will finish it off for the 4K, and finish it off for the victory in the half at 9-6. 24 frags for TMS to close things up there. And Vertigo Gaming now go into their T side with a 6-9 scoreline, a 3-round lead. They're going to look to try and finish this one up quickly. Here we go then. 9-6. So, pistol round starts up, and the CTs are already the ones inflicting a bit of damage and taking the early position, but the Ts are the ones who seem to have the advantageous run of things. Especially now that ASNG's just found that quick pick onto Grey Wolf. It's not going to be met in equal measure, though, as Zenk has got himself away with murder. How the hell has Zenk managed to get himself a 2k and stay alive in that situation? What's happened there? Anyway, doesn't matter, as ASNG's now 1 versus 4. Doable, but that bomb is just in hell. Top of Banana, surrounded by CTs. They have to do a lot to make this one work. Looks like he's going to start soon. Tapping away. Might find another head here, but he's running out of ammo. Grabs it on the final bullet. ASNG now on a 3k. Would be the ace clutch if he could make it happen. Molotov up towards the cart. Picks up the USP. 22 bullets overall. There's going to be Gwiv here, who might be the executioner as he turns the corner. He can't get this angle quickly enough. Instead, it's Zenk with the CZ. They're both waiting for him. They'll shoot the body, and they'll let him know. Vertigo misplayed that round horribly. Going through the smoke, not being aware of where Zenk was, ended up being such a dagger in the back. Here it goes. Vertigo need to try and answer something back here. Instead, what it looks like they're going to do is just hold up with upgraded pistols, mostly just P250s. Least possible investment they could make, and they're going to look to see what they can profit from it. It seems not a lot, though, because it was a completely incoherent push. Neither of them not looking the same way, focus firing down the same man. Could have probably found 1 or 2 frags out of that one if they'd have all committed the same direction, but even still, AK's now up in round number 3.5. We'll have the far superior weaponry to that of next in line, who are still running off with the XM. Going to be running out with the UMP and the MP9s for Masters. No actual M4s on the board here for next in line either. Clan has taken a lot of early damage. But it won't be mattering, because Schmidt will take that one back in equal kind by taking down Felix, who over-aggresses a little bit too far and ends up getting himself cut down to size. I understand that kind of peak timing, but you definitely don't have the timing for that kind of peak. You have no support going in before it. There's no real world in which you actually end up winning that. If someone's there waiting for you, you are dead to rights every time. There it is. ASNG manages to find the way to break the round open. It's a quick 2k in the apartments. The only other 2 players are a little bit far away, one of which is Gwiv. He's really far removed from the action, and Gibbler was just out on the arch side of things trying to rotate his way back in. And now he's met his maker too. A very clean round here for the Ts. Something they were looking for. As next in line are looking good to lose this round, and probably the one after. They might still have a bye, but I don't think it's going to be fantastic. The reason I say that is because not a lot of money has been accrued onto the crucial weapons of the MP9, the XM, etc. Anyway, Vertigo will find themselves probably racking up to number 11 here. I was right in saying that next in line don't have much in the way of an economic round here. They, for some reason, after winning, didn't just elect to upgrade anything, and then when they didn't upgrade, didn't actually find the kills with the crucial weapons. So they're finding themselves in a bit of a predicament. Only the UMP of Gwiv here to do a lot of damage. Of course, these Deagles can still find headshots and get away. You never know what can be found, and it's already that Deagle that's done exactly that. Zenk, once again with a pistol in this location on the B site. Have they just figured out they're going to be running into a stack? Well, now that the AK's been picked up by Zenk, I'm sure that they might have done. They've got to backpedal. They've got to run away. They've got to get into this A site as fast as they can, but it's a 3 versus 4. The advantage is almost certainly with next in line, and now it's even bigger for them, as Grey Wolves managed to get away with Schmidt too. ASNG now has to go big on the site to try and level the playing field. He's done so, exactly that. But Gibbler and Zenk both have picked up AK-47s, and they both now hasten to try and defend this A site from attack. The bomb will rotate on in. It will get planted easily, as there is going to be no assault coming in from Library for the time being. Already, that means that Zenk has crossed back over to assist his teammate Gibbler. They wait, and they wait. Already being tagged down. ASNG has an angle on that one. Flashbang out. Molotov into the pit to try and keep ASNG at bay for a moment longer. But as soon as they peek round the edge of this car, they will feel his wrath. They'll feel it big time with the assistance of TMS. And they've somehow made it work, as next in line just don't have the idea of where the players are going to be. They can't peek into that many angles at once. In the end, ASNG is the one to stabilize things. It was looking precarious. It was looking a little bit ferocious there against them. The heat was rising, but in the end, they were still able to lock things down and hold to just that 2 versus 2. Now AWP's back out for both sides. Puffin's got his. Zenk's got his. Going to be an interesting round to see who can come out on top, but blinded, Gibbler's able to find one. It's traded back though, TMS. Catching the spray through the edge of the cart. That's a nice shot, though, from Zenk. And it seems that Zenk has the better of Puffin this map. Puffin's not really found much with the AWP off the start. He's not been getting those signature first picks like he usually does. So a 4 versus 3 here for next in line. Good opportunity here to try and win a round. A nice play coming in, though, from Vertigo. And I wonder what they're going to elect to do with it. Are they going to try and go all the way around to B? Or are they going to actually loop back in towards the A site? I'm not sure what their call is. It looks like the latter of the two. Grey Wolf will have the drop on it. And I think that will call for the rotation out from pit from Zenk too. It doesn't matter though. Grey Wolf's doing it all by himself. Smoke goes in a little bit late, in all fairness. Should have got that one in a lot earlier. They can still get the safe plant here, as it's ASNG and Schmidt to try and pull this one back from the brink. The 2 versus 4, not impossible, but definitely pretty improbable. A little bit of HE grenade damage goes in. They need to try and make their way out of the site, really, because this is going to be a really hard position to try and fight from when all of the CTs are converging on you. 3 of them are already in position to fight, but that's a nice shot from ASNG. It might be a second one opening itself up here, but Felix rotating his way in, grabs one onto Schmidt. He's got one in his line of sight, got a second one pushing in with the AWPs, dropped over that one. A 1 versus 3 on the cards. He's peeking out round the corners, but he's down. Is there time on the bomb? I think there is. There should just be enough here for next in line. Grabs themselves their 11th. Schmidt can't quite make it work. In the end, conceding the round. Next in line, get up to 9. It's just not quite working out for Vertigo in these situations. They're trying to get things to work, but in the end, it's just falling short. It has been a pretty dire game here from Puffin. He's only on 6 frags, lowest in the server. Needs to get something going. Needs to start hitting some shots. Just completely change the tide of the game if he were to. That HE grenade every time has been consistently bullying Clan. issue here for the CTs is they're not really that well equipped. They were pretty low economically, and it came down to a 1 versus 1 win in the previous round. But the problem here for the Ts is that they're boxed in. They're in a real kill box right now. The absolute murder zone, but they've managed to fight their way out of it tooth and nail, getting themselves into a 4 versus 3. 2 players pretty low on health. Not low enough that it's really that big of a deal, but TMS is going to be the one who's the real primary concern and in desperate need of some medical attention. Is this going to be a save call here from next in line? I think it might be. Probably the wise thing to do. You've got hold of the AWP. Certainly would be a good time to keep that one in rotation. Keep that one in circulation. Keep it moving. So far, that AWP's been opening up quite a few of your rounds, and it's been certainly having the impact that you wanted it to have. So to keep that alive in 2 for masses, when otherwise you would be pretty economically barren, is a really nice thing to have. A bit of a luxury, really. But that's the reason you save. Next in line now. Trying to do something a little bit aggressive. That flashbang is botched as hell. Plan capitalizes on the fact that he does not even get touched by that flash. And that should open up the B site for business. Felix is the only player over here. He's going to soon be feeling quite a lot of utility coming his way. Hides behind the fountain, grabs the first, tries to grab the second, and will do so successfully. And that might elicit a bit of a run maneuver here. This is now a flat-out 3 versus 3. Felix has done it alone. On 19 health, but still, he's a factor in the round. He's already been a factor so far. AKs are up for retrieval, but the main source of the attack now goes in towards the A site. Grey Wolf here to defend with Zenk. They need to get the early pick to make sure this one can convert, but Asenji has other ideas. He's going to swing himself on out, grabs one on top of the site. Second one hiding in the back of the corner over the top of the box. That's found by Grey Wolf, and that should be the round. And honestly, next in line might just choose to let this one go away with Felix saving away this AK's on 19 health. Not really much of a chance of going for this one at all. Vertigo will find 13. Spam going in, but nothing coming out. Saving in the pit, something that really doesn't make any sense thematically here. You know, physically either. You shouldn't be able to save a bomb explosion from that range. Hey-ho. Inferno is one of those maps which is just a little bit funky for that. But it's those little funky technicalities that make CS a fun game. What is not going to be a fun game here is for next in line how they play this round. This is not going to be fun. They're practically not going to be allowed to play the game for this round. Felix is, I think, going to be over at B by himself with the AK. And unfortunately here for next in line, this looks to be where Vertigo are most interested in going. So he's going to have to do a behemoth task here all by his lonesome if they do decide to go over here. Felix, he waits. What's he going to find? Not much. Because it's going back over towards A. Just a little bit of fire here from Plan to try and draw out Felix. To try and figure out where he might be lurking over to. It seems that they feel pretty comfortable with the fact that A is the way to go. Run boosting over the top of the smoke will concede a frag for TMS. But in the end, Asenji trades it. Leaving it in a 4 versus 2 as Asenji doubles down on his promises, gets a second frag of the round. Plan ends up taking out his teammate. because of a little bit of heavy fire coming in from Grey Wolf, but Felix once again will look to try and save away with this AK. Over at the B site, I don't think he really will have too many contenders in that particular threat. So things looking good here. Felix actually looking to try and be a little bit closer. Might want to try and take some rifles out of the hands of Vertigo here. Trying to stop them building anything for the final couple of rounds. I mean, obviously, Felix is going to have a buy next round regardless of what happens, but even still, could do with being a little bit better. He just wants to take those rifles away. Manages to do so with one of them, but the AWP, the more important of those rifles, does not get beaten to the punch. Obviously, it becomes 14 for Vertigo. Rather comfortable buy for them now. Next in line will have probably not everything they wanted. We're going to have to see if they do one of those discombobulated buys they were so fond of at the start of the first half. But it seems not. They're actually going to be all on the same page here. Definitely wanting to get the buys up. Trying to get it all together this time around. And early damage being done. They're going to take the fight to them. Next in line, go for something aggressive. A big change of pace. And it's now a 3 versus 5 just like that. Blink and you'll miss it. This is going to be a difficult situation for Vertigo Gaming to recover here. They can definitely do it, don't get me wrong. They've done more crazy things than this before in the past. 5 versus 3s definitely don't even scratch the surface of what this team's capable of. But they're going to need to show it in a big way. They're going to need to show it in a different way. They're going to need to show it in a way that can profit with a round win. 3 players are leaning over towards the A site, and they're going to soon find one of them in the cubby if they don't clear it. Man just needs to pick the right time in. Needs to play the corner. He's got it. Okay, that's nice. That's the first of 5. Now, look to get their way into the site. Flashbangs go over. 2 players inside the pit. Actually, one's up inside the balcony. It's going to be an interesting situation to see if they can read it. They can. TMS found one. And now the second player up from short. Going to be traded off as well. It's a 2 versus 2. They've managed to level the playing field and stabilize the round. Now the 2 players rotating over from B are called into action to see if Puffin and TMS can truly be tested. As Wolf and Zenk look to try and fight things back. Picked up an incendiary, which could be useful to dislodge one of these players from what could be an already uncomfortable position for the CTs to try and retake into. Here we go. TMS is knowing that the CTs are running out of time. The AWP will find the first shot. TMS will land the second. That's map point here for Vertigo Gaming. They're going to be on the brink now of taking this one home. Getting away with it. And what do next in line bring into the round? Well, they bring in 3 Desert Eagles with a little bit of utility. Everyone is armoured up. 1 FAMAS and 1 MP9. It's really not everything they would have wanted. And already it looks like it's going to be a difficult round for them to try and contend with. Zenk's taken damage early. Felix is already gone. Nade Starks going up to the top of Banana, taking big chunks out of Gwiv and Zenk. And Grey Wolf is just looking to try and pick off a head. Don't think anyone's interested in going for that right away, though. They're just holding passively here, Vertigo. They're waiting for the mistake to be made. Azenji now getting a little bit restless. Spotting him now. Azenji will still find that frag regardless. Now Zenk called into action. Will be able to grab that frag rather easily. Gets the AK upgraded for himself. 4 versus 3 still doable, especially now that Gwiv's found that frag over towards the B side of things. But that will be the call for the rotation in towards the A site. They know that Zenk is over here somewhere. So they're just going to try and fight this one themselves. Puffin with the AWP. Will now call for his teammate to get into the site as he'll go re-back and cover that angle. Just 10 frags this game from Puffin, but those 10 frags is really all you need. Your team can carry the majority of the heavy lifting and the weight. And now the retake, it comes. TMS will be the first point of call on this one. Flashbangs go over from Pit, so they're going to be aware that there's at least one player in there. Now Flashbang in from Schmidt too. He's grabbed one. Now looks to look for a second up and above. Maybe Zenk will peek first, but the Molotov in. TMS grabs that one. Schmidt looks for the final with Puffin's assistance. There it is, 16-9 in the end. Vertigo Gaming will make good on their promises to do well in ESEA. They found their victory. They found what they were looking for. That, as we say in the business, is a GG's. That is what we call a GG's. I don't know what's going on with my camera. It's a bit all over the shop today. Don't have to worry about it. But anyway, thank you guys. Oh, that's very low. Thank you guys very much for watching. It's been a pleasure, as always, to bring you some action from the side of Vertigo. That's it for their week of ESEA matches. They once again remain flawless. 4-0, 16-9, the most rounds they've conceded to date. It's just 9 overall. So that puts their total up to, I think, 15 rounds conceded, or 14 rounds conceded over the course of ESEA so far. Lovely season for them. I'm going to be hopping over to a different Twitch channel now over at Lucendi. If you want to hop over there and watch some more Counter-Strike action from ESEA main, that's going to be over on that channel. But for myself and Vertigo, that is it for the time being. Have a lovely evening, and see you sometime next week.